Actonians, originally Arlingtonians Men's Football Club, has a long and glorious history. The club was important in founding amateur football leagues in the 1920s. Hugely successful in the 1960s. Continued winning took us to higher leagues in the 1970s. In the 1990s, and again in the late 2010s and early 2020s, we gained the most coveted silverware. Let's learn more about your Actonians, one of the most decorated and historic amateur football clubs in the world. In 1890, Arlington Park College was founded in Chiswick, and in 1906, Acton County Grammar School opened. These schools become a main source of players for our club. And in 1908, when Chiswick High Road looked like these photographs, and as the 1908 Olympics football final took place in White City Stadium, the club was founded as Old Arlingtonians FC. In 1910, Old Arlingtonians Football Club entered the Middlesex County Football League and won the Division II West in their debut season. Our first silverware won 115 years ago. In 1913, Arlingtonians won the AFA Middlesex Junior Cup, pictured in the white and black original colours. In 1923-24, the Amateur Football Association Annual gives the price of a solid leather football at 18 shillings and sixpence, and it also lists the team as Old Actonians, Late Arlingtonians. But along with this dual name, there was more success. The first team won the Middlesex Senior Division West. In 1925, exactly 100 years ago, the club was officially renamed to Old Actonians AFC, phasing out Arlingtonians' name. In 1926, there was not just a new name, but a new league. Old Actonians were founder members of the Nemean League and a new ground, Gunnersbury Park. These aerial shots are from the late 1920s. The club had expanded to 3 teams, with the first team playing in the new Nemean League and other teams playing in secondary school old boys leagues. In the late 1920s, the club also changed their kit to blue and white halves with red pocket, collar, cuffs with blue knickers. Colours we still play in today. In 1930, Actonians' first team reached the London Old Boys Senior Cup final at White Hart Lane. Whilst the first team didn't get the win, the reserves in 1931 won the Old Boys League Division II West. By 1937, the club had expanded to 5 teams competing in different leagues. Some teams played in just old boys leagues, others played against workplace teams too. Notable opponents were Unilever, London Rifle Brigade, Polytechnic, Crouch End Vampires, London Telecoms and Winchmore Hill. A few of these clubs, like us, can be proud of surviving to the present day. Obviously, the Second World War impacted everything, including amateur football. Many players were lost and many of the league structures changed, and in the late 30s and following the war, our home ground was moved to Wickham House, Osterley. After the Second World War, Actonians, like many teams, had a period of rebuilding. In the 1949-1950 season, Actonians won the Nemean League Division II title, with the press article detailing how the Actonian inside forwards made full use of searching passes on a large pitch. They also reached the final of the AFA Middlesex Cup. By the end of the 1950s, all Actonians teams were part of the Nemean League structure. The home ground was still Wickham House, adjacent to Osterley Park. And in 1959, Old Actonians claimed the Nemean League Senior Division title, against opposition such as Thomas Cook and Son and Iraq Petroleum. Finishing this quiet decade for the club, in terms of silverware, with a league win was a good omen for the upcoming 1960s, a decade of change and a lot of success. In the 1963 season, our first team won our first double, winning the senior division without losing a game, and the AFA Middlesex Cup. So the first team were doing well, but things were about to get better. In 1964, a move to a new location was a catalyst for members pulling together a renaissance and a golden period for our club. The move in 1964 to our current home occurred when Napier's, an aerospace company, were bought by Rolls-Royce and their local works closed. The company had excellent sporting clubs, and as seen in these photos, a decent pitch and clubhouse we'll all recognise. The council took over their premises, and Actonians made the brave decision to take on the lease. We all owe much to those involved in this project. Barry Barwick was a councillor at the time, and 3 of his sons were playing for Actonians. In 1964, Barry secured a £40,000 council grant to purchase the ground. The building and land needed a lot of work, but everything was done with voluntary labour, members sacrificing time and money to give us the base we still have supporting our success. Along with the new facilities, the club got some excellent new talent. This school handbook shows a highly successful 1962 Acton County Grammar School team, and 5 of the players came to be Old Actonians, encouraged by PE teacher Jeff Yates, who used his school connections and our excellent new ground to entice players to Old A's. So, in the mid-1960s, with great new facilities and good player recruitment, what could this lead to? The wonderful answer is a lot more winning. Actonians gained silverware and momentum. In 1964 to 1965, the first team won the treble, winning the Nemean League Division 1, their second Middlesex Senior Cup in a row, and their first AFA Senior Cup, beating Nottingham University. This winning of the AFA Senior Cup was known as the National and the Holy Grail of amateur football. So, in this era, the first team were flying, and so was the rest of the club. From 1963 to 1970, the club gained around 20 titles. And with such success came popularity, and the club added a 6th team in 1965, which immediately won their Nemean League Cup. So the club was doing well, and at the start of the 1970s, the Old Actonians Association Football Club was winning titles and had 111 players to fill 6 teams. So a 7th team was added in 1971, and the club grew to 8 teams by 1975. In 1973, the first team won the double, their County Cup and the national most coveted AFA Cup. In 1974 and 1977, 2 more doubles for the first team. In both of these seasons, they won the County Cup and the league. The second team also won a double in 1976, as did the 4th team, and the 5th team too. There was so much winning in the late 60s and 70s that John Butterworth, club secretary at the time, was seeking a higher standard of football, and in 1977, Old Actonians joined the Southern Amateur League, marking a new chapter in the club's history. The SAL League had previously been seen as a business house league for banks, insurance companies and similar clubs, and not for old boys school teams. But Actonians were winning everything, so the SAL accepted Actonians but put each and every team into the bottom league of each section. The result? Apart from the first team coming second, every other side won their division. No wonder players were in a good mood for a snowy match on Boxing Day in 1978. So the 1980s start with many of the 8 sides relatively newly promoted to higher divisions of the SAL. Silverware wasn't as plentiful, but 10 titles were won in this higher standard of football across the teams. Most notably, the first team winning the Senior Division 3 title in 1985, and then the Division 2 title in the following year, as well as winning the AFA Middlesex Senior Cup, another double. With key players like Danny Vincent keeping a winning mentality, Actonians were proving they belonged in the SAL and building for a successful 90s. So in the 90s, the foundations had been laid, the SAL was home, and Actonians started to see successes again. The improvements were highlighted best by our first team winning the SAL League Championship title in 1991, 1992, Counties Cups in 94 and 95, then achieving a double in 1996, winning the league title and coveted AFA Senior Cup crown. Danny Vincent was still with the club, and also the Mills brothers, who now repeated the success their father Brian had brought the club in the 70s. Fantastic to see a family connection bridge 2 periods of our great success. Another ever-present supporting the team was John York, who had been with the club since the 70s and held various committee roles. It was great for him to see the club return to much success in the 90s. Later in the decade, the first team won an incredible 3 Senior Division 1 titles in a row in 1999, 2000 and in the 2000 to 2001 season. A team of serial winners. With the first team winning major titles, the rest of the club followed. The 39 titles in the 90s, comparing well with the 30 titles from the 60s, and the 42 titles in the 70s. A's were winning once again, and by the end of the 90s, we had over 100 titles in our club history. As mentioned, the new millennium started with another first-team SAL Senior Division 1 title. And whilst the first team didn't repeat that success, the club was strong, very strong. 45 titles won in the decade. Notably, the fifth team winning a treble in 2000, the third team winning 6 trophies in this period, and the second team gaining 5 pieces of silverware between 2000 and 2010. In both the 2000 to 2001 season and the 2005 to 2006 season, 10 titles were gained. The early 2010s saw limited success, with just 10 trophies across the first 5 years, but the mid-late 2010s saw a resurgence for our first team. Winning the County Cup in 2017 gave them a taste for silverware, winning a League and Senior County Cup double in 2018 and the SL Senior Cup in 2020, 2023 and the National AFA Senior Cup in 2024. Jerry Callahan was the manager for this period of success, and the philosophy of the team was to be solid through the middle and get up the pitch using pace out wide. The solidity came from lanky Donald Collins in goal and captain and central defender John Batterson, and over the years a good selection of skillful players prepared to race forward when the time was right. In later years, captaincy passed to Scott Ensom, a fantastic club captain as John was, and on the sidelines the team had great support from Scott's dad Frank, John Higgins, Nick Gay and the late great Freddie Briers. With the first team winning, other teams have recently triumphed too. The second team had notable success with a Counties Cup win in 2020, made more memorable by captain Dave Carr dropping the trophy on his head. And they went on to win a league title in 2022. The Champagne Fours won a league and cup double in 2022. All teams combined have delivered over 30 titles since 2010. So, who are we? We are Actonians. We are Centurions, league founders, survivors, winners. Very few of our opponents' clubs from the 1920s are still running successfully. Nearly none have the record of success and growth that we have achieved. Across all our men's sides, we've now won more than 200 trophies. We are 5 times winners of the top-flight amateur SAL League since we joined. And no club has won the National AFA Senior Cup more times than us. We are a fantastic club with a wonderful history, members who care, a winning mentality, and a bright future. Our survival and success is not easily won, and the club is supported by all members, but some give more. Some recent club legends have given their time and spirit for many, many years. They have helped us through the leaner times, in terms of silverware and finances, and been rewarded with some glory days. Tonight, we celebrate 4 of them and their Lifetime Achievement Awards. Ross Proudfoot, Eric Owen, Freddie Briers, Jerry Callahan. Thank you. There are many more thank yous to offer and achievements to celebrate, which were missed from this short video. It was impossible to feature them all. But sincere thanks go to you all for making this club what it is and bringing success, joy, and pride to Actonians. Enjoy the night and please raise your glasses with hope for another 100 years and a fantastic footballing future for our club.